So it's Friday, just 3 days before the Transpac, which starts on Monday at noon. We sailed down from San Francisco and had a pretty quiet ride out of San Francisco Bay. It was foggy, a very ominous feel to it when we were going under the Golden Gate Bridge. The boat really didn't get a chance to be exercised there. In fact, we had to power all the way to Monterey to get fuel before we left. When we left Monterey, it started blowing, and it was blowing 20 pretty quick, and then 20 to 30 with building waves, and we passed Point Sur, and then all the way to Point Conception. So about right after Monterey, we put up the asymmetrical spinnaker, the A1, which is the large asymmetrical spinnaker, and we squared it off and we started surfing down these waves. It was a lot of fun. The waves were building, they were coming from different angles, and that night it got very dark. We had cloud cover, no moon, and no stars to help us. It was very hard to get a visual reference. We had to focus on both the compass and just kind of the feel of the waves to keep our balance. And we just screamed down the coast, and about dawn we were south of Point Conception. We jibed over and put up the A3, which is the smaller and flatter of our asymmetricals, and we reached down the backside of Santa Rosa and Santa Cruz Islands. We all had a good chance to steer. We all learned a little bit about how she feels in the water. The boat is very sound. You can feel it. There's nothing fluxing, no oil canning, no keel wag. The rig is stiff. Everything is feeling really good. It just gave you the confidence that you could really push this boat really hard. One thing that really stood out is the fact that we put the deeper elliptical rudder in there. And I don't remember these boats handling as nice as this did with that new asymmetrical. It really gave you that extra oomph when you needed it to kind of pull the bow down and pull the stern around and get it squared off to a wave. That being said, we did have a couple classic roundups. I was responsible for one of them, and we also had a couple unintentional jibes as we went screaming down the waves. The wave took the bow and brought it around, and we had a jibe. Those jibes were with the main almost all the way out, came over and it over-rotated a couple of our batten pockets. So the cover's off today, and we're going to take the mainsail off, and we have a couple batten pockets to replace, and it snapped one little intermediate slide. But if that's all that happened with those jibes, then this boat is solid, and we'll prevent that from happening in the future. No leaks, the boat is dry, all the equipment worked. It was a wonderful ride. We got into Los Angeles. We're here at Cabrillo Marina, right in front of the Cabrillo Beach Yacht Club. We got in here Monday morning at dawn, and it was just a beautiful trip. It is interesting to see what happens when you have the provisions for 6 guys, all their gear, all their foul weather gear, all their harnesses, their boots, strewn about the boat, because we haven't really figured out where to store everything. There were buckets of food washing around. You know, we all had to learn how to use the new C-swing stove that we came up with. It was interesting, and everybody had a good time with all of it. So anyway, that was just, I couldn't be more pleased. We are ready to go to Transpac. We're just praying for the weather now. The weather map's showing maybe it's going to be a little light at the start. We're hoping that's wrong, but we'll know here in the next 48 hours what we're going to be dealing with. If you have an interest in following the race, the first start for smaller boats like ourselves is on Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. You can see our progress on yellowbrick.com, which is a company that tracks race events. And I think it can also be found by yb.com. It has a sounder, a sender, which is picked up, and they'll track every one of the boats. You can take your mouse and click over a boat, and it'll tell you who it is and what our speed is and give you relevant information of our last position. And then we're also going to try and send an email out to our own website, Great Old Boats, and give you a little more color, a little more detail about what's really going on the boat and how everybody's reacting to this event. We've also equipped the boat with a number of cameras, and we're going to be collecting footage that can be used to put some episodes together after we complete the Transpac. I thought it would be interesting to share with you what really goes on a boat, what the tactics are in the racing, and just daily life on board the boat so that you understand what goes on. It's a bit of a marathon for 6 guys, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. We got some good characters aboard, and we'll try and get as much commentary as we can from everybody about how they're feeling while we're doing this race. The Transpac is one of the oldest events in yachting, and over those years many great traditions have been established. One of them is the going away party, or what they call the Aloha Party, where all the contestants and their crew and family members assemble and have a Polynesian feast and watch some great Polynesian dancers and have a lot of great music. It's a lot of fun, a chance to see some old friends. Got to let your hair down before you have to get back to the business of getting your boat ready and getting off the dock.
Aloha.